So it's that time again where I film all of the little goodies I've made for the annual 13-day 3-way Halloween Advent swap that I do with my crafty friends every year. I believe this is our 4th year doing it, which is awesome. I'm not 100% sure if it's going to be going ahead as normal because life has gotten in the way of us in so many different ways. But for my part, I'm still going to send the gifts that I made for my friends to them. Whether or not it ends up being in an Advent style is still to be seen, but I need to do this filming so that I can actually wrap stuff up and post it out. So, if you're not familiar with this swap that we do, I'll put all the details of the actual swap and how to do one in the description, but what I mainly want to do is just very quickly show you the things I've made. So I guess I'll get to it, and this little guy who you've seen me fidgeting with, he's kind of a slug. Yeah, he's a crocheted slug. I will link the pattern below. It is a paid pattern, but it's a really great pattern. I love the slug patterns. I've actually made tons of them. But what I did was I found this really fluffy, nice, soft, amazing. I don't know if it's not exactly yarn. It's sold as yarn and people make plushies with it, but it's like the softest stuff in the world. And I had some, and I was just like, I wonder what would happen if I just like attached it to the slug. So it's not crocheted in, it's actually sewn on. And I just kept adding it, and then I did eyebrow tufts. And I just think it's the most cuddly little squishy kind of tactile wonderful thing. I've made several of them in different colours, but obviously I did Halloween colours for this. And I did 2. You can see they're very similar except for, you know, the yarn pulls in different ways as it's being worked. So the markings are slightly different. I don't know if you can see on the camera, but the Halloweeny yarn is also sparkly, which is cool. So yeah, that was just a fun little thing I put together. So as I say, I'm just showing you these in no particular order. And also I forgot to mention that I made too many things. I was supposed to make 7 things for each person, and I made 8, and instead of like saving something for next year, I'm just gonna send it all because I'll forget where I put it. I'll just forget where I put it. So yeah, this is the second thing I've got here. It is, well, I guess it's thread painting because it's not proper embroidery. It's quite messy, like the stitches, which I like. I like the texture of it. This is a little design I may have seen something similar. I'm not sure if I'm completely honest, but I just really like the concept of the kind of this soul, the essence of a person and their anxiety being manifest as this monster. So yeah, I've made 2 of these. They're very similar, so I'll not show you both, but it's an anxiety monster kind of embroidery hoop. I've edged it with these skulls. Oh, they're not coming into focus, but I promise they're very cute. Anyway, yeah, sorry, that's just not gonna focus for us. It's skull ribbon. And on the back, I've written, "The anxiety monster lies, because he does." And I think that's something that we all struggle with. So yeah, that's the second thing that I've got in my pile of things. What's next? Let's see. I guess this can be next. I made these little pin cushions. So what I did was I had these are like, you see it's a pot, like a little plant pot. They're terracotta. So what I did was with polymer clay and glass eyes, I sculpted a cute little face. This one's got a bogey hanging out. Then I painted them and sealed them with a gloss spray, and then I added a pincushion bit with some felt and some pretty pins that kind of match. So if you've seen the video from last year, you'll have seen that I did a similar, well, not similar, I did a similar themed thing where I made needle books for my friends. So needle books are all well and good for like storing stuff in, but then I thought a pincushion could be really useful just on your desk. I mean, I use my pincushions all the time. This is the other one here. I really like her face. She's got purple eyes and a warty chin. So yeah, I made these pincushions. To be honest, when I first made these little pots, I made them for my air plants. So the air plant is like the hair of the thing. And I was going to send air plants, and then I thought, what if they perish in the mail or in the packaging? And I just thought it's a bad idea to send air plants. Also, it's a responsibility, isn't it? If you're sending a plant to someone, especially an air plant, which are prone to just not being that easy to take care of despite what they try to sell them as. So yeah, no air plants. I turn them into pincushions. And this little guy, oh, he's got a bit of glue stuck to him. This little guy's a ring. I had these little ring bases, and I made a little crochet pumpkin. I made him a little ruff with some lace. And yeah, they're just really cute and silly, and you know, the ring's adjustable. I have quite chunky fingers, but not everyone has chunky fingers. So yeah, he's just a little guy. I know that one of my friend's sons will be, he'll run off with this as soon as he sees it, so she might get 5 minutes if she's lucky. The ring was also like shiny silver, and I used some alcohol and Sharpie to make it a bit weathered so that it's not quite so shiny and bright. So I made 2 of these, and they're like virtually identical. Excuse me. So I'll not show you both. Right, what's next? What's next? How about this? This is a door hanger. I'll show you down here so you can actually see the whole thing. So it's the thing you put on your doorknob, and here it says decompressing. And you can see the ghost is all scrunched up and stressed, and the mushrooms are closed, and the froggy in the corner. Can you see him? He has a sad face. So yes, and then when you flip it over, it says decompressed. And you can see the ghost has relaxed, the mushrooms have unfurled, and the froggy is happy. So yeah, it's just kind of a double-sided kind of, again with the theme of mental health. I've got fidget things, I've got anxiety monsters, and a decompression door hanger thing. So yeah, this is just painted with acrylics, and it is a nod with the frog to the Sad Ghost Club, which is a book which my friend had given me last year, which was really cool. And I mean, the ghosts aren't the same. They have like legs and are essentially people with a sheet on them, but there's like a little frog, so I know that my friends who both have the book will think that this is great and they will understand the reference. But yeah, ghosties because Halloween. Anyway, okay, what will we do next? How about this? I've been really enjoying making these beaded spiders. I make them so they hang, which isn't the easiest thing to get on camera. at this angle. But yes, they're dangling, spindly legged with a big shiny glittery bum. Spiders. The legs can obviously be bent into shape, but you don't want to bend them too much or they'll snap. Yeah, so here's the other one here, which is basically the same. This one has like a stone head and this one has a pearly head, but they've got the same sparkly butt and they hang. This one's actually got shorter legs too, so they're slightly different styles. When I make things, I tend to go on like a huge binge, so I made like okay, when I was making the slugs, I've made like 35 now. 35 slugs in a binge of crocheting. It took me an entire month. For these spiders, I think I did like 20, somewhere between 15 and 20 spiders. I've got them hanging up everywhere, but I haven't been able to show anybody yet because I'm saving it for the Advent. So yeah, spiders that dangle are another prize. As I said, you don't have to make everything for our Advent. That's not part of the rules. I just like to, because it gives me an excuse. I really like making things, and if I make things, I end up having to keep them all. So I like having an excuse to give them away to people who I know will appreciate them. So yeah, I make so many things. I wish I could accurately express how full of things I've made my house is. It's crazy. So for our next thing, I found these little candles, these little purple candles at Home Bargains here in Scotland. They were like 40 pence each, and they're just like little scented candles, and they smell absolutely incredible. They're like blackberry or something. They're really, really nice. But like 40 pence, I was like, I could alter that and make it really cool. So I did. I had these little owls. They're resin owls, but as if you follow me in any capacity, you know that I like to repaint things, specifically things that already have a bad paint job. If it's a good sculpt and a bad paint job, I just cannot abide it, and I will redo the paint job. So that's what I did with the little owls. They're all squinty and terrible. So I gave them a new paint job and I sculpted these hats with polymer clay to make them little witchy owls. And I put a bit of ribbon on the hat to add a bit of interest. These are quartz crystals, and normally I'm really not a huge fan of combining crystals and plastic. I know that like people make beautiful things with polymer clay and crystals, and that's great for them. I don't know, there's something that feels wrong about polymer clay and plastic together to me that I just can't do it. But these crystals were they were a candle holder, and the candle holder was falling apart. It was all these crystals and they were like glued in with silicone and I'd had it since I was a teenager and it was falling apart, so I decided I was going to take the candle holder apart and salvage the crystals. Well, the crystals were getting silicone off of crystals that have all these little nooks and crannies is just not easy. So the crystals weren't in great condition. I was like, okay, I'll put them in plants and I'll put them in crafts. That's great. I've got this huge supply of crystals now to use in crafts. So I did combine them in this kind of multimedia arrangement. And the other owl is purple. That's why I'm showing you both of them, even though they're very similar. So yeah, it's a candle, but when the candle's done, it's also a cool thingy. The jar can be used for various things, and the outside of the jar, or stickers that I had. It's quite funny. I got these nail decals, right? So they're nail decals and they're all Halloween things, but they've got these huge stickers, which look at my thumb next to it. Nobody's nail is that big, not even their toenails. So yeah, I think they're just space fillers really. And I was like, what am I ever going to do with those huge stickers? And I found a use for them, didn't I? They look great on the candles to make them all Halloweeny and spooky. Okay, so let me see how many things. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've shown you 7 things, which means we're on the last thing. And this is going to be really difficult to show you because it's a dangly thing. So maybe if I lay it out on the table, you can get a better idea of what it looks like. It's got these metal bat wings, so it tinks nicely, makes nice sounds. It's got bat wings. It's got these beautiful ceramic beads, glass beads, nice sparkly crystal on the bottom. And this is just a wood disc and an MDF skull, which I painted with Stuart Semple's Black 3.0. So when you look at it, it's got a bit of a smudge there from being dusty because I made it ages ago. It's a bit of, it messes with your eyes. It's so matte black, so it's really cool in contrast to all the other bits. And yeah, it's just a cool dangly. I've been really fixated this year on things that dangle, things that hang. So I was trying not to make too many things that hang to go into this, but this is something I really enjoyed making and including. So yeah, that's all 8 things I made for the Advent. But there's one last thing I'll show you, and that's, I said that I made, 35-ish slugs. These are the larger ones. So I'll be sending them each one of these as well. They have the sweetest little faces. It's not my pattern. It is a paid pattern. It's actually for a snail, both of the patterns, but I like the slugs because they feel so good in your hand. I find them very soothing to hold. They're really cuddly. It's weird. If you do get the pattern, if you make one, if someone's made one for you, you'll understand what I mean. But with the shell, it does look cool, but it's substantially less cuddly. So what I'm going to do is I'll include links to the pattern for this in the description of the video in case anyone's interested. They're really nice, and to scale it up or down, you just change your hook size and your yarn size. So yeah, I've got a red one and a blue one with a pink tummy. The red one has a black tummy. And that's the end of the video. So yeah, I guess that's 9 gifts each technically. And there's something else I bought and putting in, but I'll not show you that bit because it's not as exciting, I guess. It's socks, not very exciting. So anyway, thanks for checking in, and I will include links also to my friends' videos, should they make them, about their contributions to the swap. I will also include any of the received gift videos and yada yada yada. What else? Oh yes, I'll make a video of my received gifts too, assuming all goes to plan. So yes, thanks for checking in, and I guess I will check back when I have the time and inclination to make a video. Bye!